Wizards of the Coast just fired me. Or at least that's what it feels like now with all of this going on with Dungeons and Dragons. I have been a proponent, a driving force, a hype man for Dungeons and Dragons for a while now, and now things are crazy. But I can't abandon Dungeons and Dragons entirely. I could abandon Wizards of the Coast, but not you guys, because if I do leave D&D 5th edition entirely and I don't make another video or another piece of content or resource, PDF, anything for it, I would be abandoning you guys, because I know a lot of you are still going to be playing 5th edition. I myself am still playing 5th edition in a campaign that I'm running right now, and I just actually started a Curse of Strahd campaign that I'm streaming over to my patrons and other things like that. I have other videos talking about that, but I'm talking about the future of this now and where to go from here, and where you guys are going to be the huge driving force of. I just did an OGL video. I'm not even going to talk about the OGL, and this whole thing is I'm now focusing on the big 5 directions where we could go. This video being a catalyst that I'm going to heavily be diving through the comments of to see what you guys' thoughts are. Also in the top of the description are 2 different voting polls. One on YouTube itself, a YouTube voting poll for everyone on YouTube to see the direction of the videos on this channel, because I'm stuck with 2 very interesting spots of what do I make videos on, because D&D videos get the most views, and anything I've made other than that doesn't get as many views. So then, like, with my channel just gonna flutter away. And then I also have monthly content that I make every single month on my Patreon, on my website, all these other things, right? So I have 2 different polls. One for the YouTube poll, also linked in the description. It's in the community tab. You might have already seen it, might have already voted. And then there's going to be also the Patreon poll that's also linked there. That's for patrons only, because I really want to know what people that are actively supporting me to be able to do this are going to do, because a lot of that support is going to be what fuels this possibility, because if I'm getting removed a large source of my income, then that's going to be the answer to it, is at least for now. So here are the 5 different pillars here. 1, the first thing that's possible is make D&D content for completely free. This is something that I feel totally fine doing, because I'd be helping you guys, and it's not like I'm doing it for Wizards of the Coast or doing it for anyone else. It's content that I already want to make, already have made, and I'm going to do a test pilot run of this in 2 weeks. I have a Bard video. I have redone the one D&D Bard, the D&D Bard. I've taken everything, and I have given and put a pretty bow on the package of this Bard. I'm super excited to share with you guys, and this is going to be my pilot test run of this. It's going to be completely free. We'll see how well the video does. We'll see how well it's received or whatever, and that is a totally viable option. But if I'm giving that away completely for free, I would be completely relying on the support of Patreon to be able to do that. Because if I keep doing that, and then I just would whittle away into nothing, because I wouldn't be able to sustain a living off of doing this thing, right? So there has to be some level of the big picture of all this. And also, as a disclaimer, a lot of these 5 pillars, it could be a variety of it. It could be all 5, right? It depends on the votes. If the votes are all split exactly down the middle, then I would do a mix of all 5, and I'd do a free piece of D&D content this week, and then keep going through this list. So that is a possible option of just making D&D content that's straight up D&D content, 1 D&D, whatever the next edition is, whatever the next version is, 5th edition, whatever it is, for free, and then rely on the patrons to be able to keep that ball rolling. That's option 1. Option 2, as we keep moving towards the end option, which is really exciting. And anyway, second option is continue to make D&D content without the OGL. That is something that is able to be done. It's not too difficult to have to move around and go back through and wash clean the OGL from anything. And some things would have to be rephrased or reframed or reset in different ways and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely something that me and my team can easily do, and that we've done before. So it would be making D&D content. It would still be posted on my Patreon, posted on my website, posted in YouTube videos about making D&D content. I'd probably have a disclaimer before everything in every video moving forward of, I do not support Wizards of the Coast and the actions that they've taken, blah, 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 but I support you guys with D&D. Here's a new D&D spell rule hack, or here's a new magic system, or here's a new way to handle this and that. Dungeon Master tips, etc., right? Or Game Master tips, I should say now. But that is a second option there of still making D&D content, but without the OGL, right? Making it not underneath the umbrella contract of the OGL, and I would still make D&D content without the OGL. So there's another option there. Option 3, and this one has so far seen the most amount of hype and the most amount of response so far, and is kind of where my head initially went. The very first thing is a system agnostic resources, to where no matter what game system you go to, because a lot of us, I think, are going to be moving away from Dungeons and Dragons. That's the way the community, just the uproar, the principle of it all. A lot of people are going to be moving away from Dungeons and Dragons, I think. And expect no matter what Wizards of the Coast says and does, I have lost faith in the company in general, and I don't know what they could do here to win that back. We shall see in the next few days and weeks and stuff. But system agnostic resources would be able to have and create resources that are definitely usable in D&D. My main background is D&D, right? I don't want to start to say that yet. It would be usable in Dungeons and Dragons, and it would take inspiration from other game systems and create some sort of system agnostic roll tables, rules, implementations, how to do different things, how to create different things, different tools to be able to help your games, and different resources and monsters and other stuff that you could easily hack towards 5th edition. And I probably would say as well, if I did make system agnostic things, I would know that my original fan base and the original supporters on Patreon, supporters on YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff would probably be more slanted towards D&D than anything else. So I would probably have some sort of rules hack or some modifications that you can make. But here's the system agnostic stuff, and at the end of it, it'd be like, if you want to apply this to 5th edition, you just do this, that. You know, something very, very simple to help you guide it in that direction. And it would just be system agnostic resources. 4th option is a intimidating option, or a daunting option, I would say, but is to go into other tabletop role-playing games and create resources for that. Now, I know I've gotten a lot of comments about like, oh yeah, like I would love for you to like go and show other tabletop role-play games. The problem for me is I don't play them. I am somewhat familiar with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I'm very familiar and actually helped develop Cogent roleplay from Tabletop Time. That is about it as far as my tabletop roleplay game experience. I have some other like Icarus RPG and other things that I've played, but not a lot. I'm not that knowledgeable in all of them. There's many other D&D YouTubers out there that have this widespread of all these different RPGs that they've played. So I don't know if I should go into that realm, because I am not that type of guy, right? If I was somebody that played RPGs my whole life and I've played all these different ones, that's the person I would want making that video, not necessarily me. I think I'd be better off in doing other things and helping in other ways that are my strong suit. So that is something that is definitely an option, a possibility. And if there's a big outcry towards like, yeah, we really want to see Blades in the Dark or Shadow of, all these different things. I have a list of Dungeon Crawl Classic stuff. There's a lot of really cool ones out there that are similar to 5th edition that I could easily jump over to and give a little hack for, give a little description for, and dive into myself. But that's another option there, and that's the 4th option, leading to the final and 5th option of making my own game system. My God, there's been so many people. Cobalt Press is making their own game system. Matt Colville, I knew it. He was going to make his own game system. A lot of smaller D&D YouTubers like myself are making their own game systems. What do we do in this time except for that? That's going to happen, and I think the diversification in the market is going to be a good thing. And by no means is me saying I'm also going to make a role-playing game. I've been working on this for over 2 years. I have a system that has shown up in videos in the past. I have a system where I surprised one of my friends with a PlayStation 5, and we played that game system. For my birthday, my last year on my birthday, I had my wife and some of her friends play this game system. It has been in the works for a long time, and it is taking 5th edition, and you guys know my stance and thoughts on 5th edition and where I see the game going and different little modifications and stuff. I have a very pure, clear vision of what I see my tabletop role-playing game to be. DCRPG is what I'm calling it right now. It doesn't even have a code name yet. That's just, that's very obvious right there. But that system is something I will make. I'm going to make it. It's already been in the plans. It's been worked on for 2 years already, and I might have to force my hand to pull the trigger on it sooner and flesh it out sooner. But it was already going to be the 4th or 5th Kickstarter that I launched, but it might have to bump up to be maybe the 3rd or 4th or something. I don't know, as far as in the big scheme of things. But I want to know about that. And if you are interested and want to do that, do I make videos on that? Do I show some teasers of how the rules would be? How I make attack rolls in this system is going to blow your mind. How damage and health is dealt, I think, is amazing. How classes are structured and having a feat-based class system. Oh, who see how I'm talking about? Hold up. But I have a whole bunch of stuff going on with that game system that I would love to share. Do I make YouTube videos to share about it? Do I make content on Patreon to share about it? Who knows, right? I want to know what you guys want to see, and I want to see what that balance is. I got 5 different options I've just shared with you guys. I want to see where that lies. Is it like, oh my God, really make a game system? Or like, no, it's fine. I'm going to probably do the Cobalt Press or the Matt Colville thing. I don't know. Or no, system agnostic stuff. That would be the best. You know what I'm saying? I really want to see what you guys think. This video is going to be a huge source and a beacon for that going into it, and the comment polls, the polls on YouTube, the poll on Patreon. Let me know what you want to see, because ultimately I still have to kind of scramble and do some stuff here, because everything is kind of falling out from underneath me, and that's going to be what I kind of go to see. I'm really going to go and look to my patrons as well, because I am going to see what the YouTube comments say and all that kind of stuff, and I really want to see where the channel can go from here. But at the foundational level of being able to keep the lights on and keep doing this at all, I have to go to my patrons and see what they want, because the people that are supporting what this is now going to be that. And whatever you can do in YouTube videos, whatever you can do to help share and spread all of this, I'd appreciate it. So anyway, that is the update now in the aftermath of all of this. We'll see where it all goes. I want to see what you guys want to see, and I am excited to make it. And if it end up being a like, oh, it's just like 4 of those 5, let's really like rotate around those. I'll keep rotating around and keep getting feedback from you guys, and this community will make it through this weird, crazy time. And maybe we make it through to a brighter future and a more customizable option future and a better TTRPG landscape than ever before, because of this happening in the craziest way possible. So who knows? We're going to have to stay creative, like I said last time, and think outside the box together. Peace.